Nick Wilde, Ace Attorney. Written by Berserker88 and Jack of Mines. Chapter 4. Slow and Unsteady. 12:07 p.m. Zootopia Central Courthouse. Defendant Lobby Number 3.
Yep, it's hopeless.
Finnick's brief burst of optimism didn't last.
Seriously, a sloth? Who's ever going to buy that he's the killer? All this based off the testimonies of a hallucinating hippie and a drug-dealing sheep. This is completely, absolutely...
Shh! Hey, can you keep it down?
Nick shushed him, staring down at his phone. His eyes hadn't left it since court was adjourned. It was a wonder how quickly Nick could diffuse Finnick's temper through sheer confusion, but that was just one of the reasons why they made a good team.
What are you even doing?
Research?
He said, skimming through page after page with no end in sight.
On the case? Who are you and what have you done with Nick Wilde?
No, not on the case. On Prosecutor Hopps.
Talented as Nick was at cooling the Finnick down, he could incite him again just as easily.
You're doing that now?
Doing it during the trial would be rude, Finn.
And back down again.
Whatever. Not like we could do much else anyway until Flash shows up, which could be another few hours. Might as well get some intel on the enemy.
Probably best not to tell him that I'm only doing this out of personal curiosity. Right. You have to know your enemy to win battles for yourself. Or however that goes.
Find anything so far?
Not much, aside from a bunch of reports about how great she is. Let's try dropping the prosecutor part and just Zoogle Judy Hopps.
He felt much like his predatory ancestors in that moment, just hunting through the web instead of the woods. And it was just as hard to sift through.
Junk. Clickbait. Junk. Oh dear.
What? Don't tell me your cheap phone crapped out again.
Not that, just, well, look.
Nick turned the screen so his partner could see what he'd come across. It was a scan of an old news article, dated many, many years ago.
The Bunnyboro Blabbermouth? They have internet in Bunnyboro?
Nick found himself unusually annoyed for reasons he couldn't fathom.
Oh my god. The headline?
Potential police mammal pulled painfully from pedestal.
I just wanted to hang with the cops. Seems like kind of a step down in prosecutor if you ask me.
Maybe, but that was her dream. And it looks like she didn't get to fulfill it.
Keep reading.
Finnick pressed, more interested than he would have liked to seem.
The wonders of the internet.
Nick had to squint just to read the old tiny print.
Just this morning, 8-year-old Judy Hopps performed at this year's Carrot Days Festival with other members of her class. As they each revealed their lifelong passions, this young girl loudly proclaimed that she would one day be a police officer and make the world a better place. Foolish, perhaps, but noble. Sadly, it was not to be. Barely an hour had passed before this shining beacon of justice challenged the local Vulpine scoundrel Gideon Gray to protect her friends, already trying to live up to her dream.
Jeez, who wrote this sensationalist bunk? Detective Oates?
Actually, it looks like a guy named Stinkman.
Fitting. Now keep going.
According to witnesses, the altercation started over stolen fare tickets and escalated when Judy attempted to swipe them back. It was only natural that a cunning fox would see through such a trick, and in retaliation, savagely attacked her. Even now, she is still being treated at the local clinic in stable condition. While she is expected to make a full recovery, a set of gashes on her cheek from Gray's claws will most likely scar.
Yes, now I know why she's been so aggro against you from the beginning. Can't be easy to face another fox under these circumstances.
Nick just nodded slowly and continued reading. He couldn't stop himself now if he tried.
And those aren't the only scars that will remain. The victim's parents, Bonnie and Stu Hopps, shared with us their own opinions on the incident. We tried to warn her about how dangerous it was for a rabbit to be a police officer, said Stu, but Judy has always been a fighter, too much for her own good sometimes. It's only now we see how dangerous that kind of attitude really is. We could have lost our daughter today, added Bonnie, an air of unshakable tension around them both. And we can't let something like this happen again. As much as we know it will hurt her now, we have no choice but to forbid her from ever being a cop, or even leaving Bunnyboro. She'll understand one day. It's for her own good. With such devastating news waiting for her, only time will tell if Judy Hopps can ever truly recover. That's it. According to everything else I've read, she started training to become a prosecutor barely into adolescence. That must have been the closest she could get to actually being out on the streets.
What about that other fox, Gideon?
His claws clicked across the screen with another quick search. He could almost laugh at the result.
In jail for an unrelated assault charge. And guess who was in charge of that case?
Even Finnick didn't have anything to snark about.
How's about that? To think, she ended up a prosecutor because she wanted to defend the innocent. Fate is funny that way.
Sure is. Between this and the Junior Ranger Scouts...
Enough about the frickin' Scouts already. That's over and done with now.
Nick looked down at him, uncharacteristically serious.
Think about it. What if no one had come to my defense back then, and those Scouts were actually able to muzzle me?
He shuddered, thankful he only had to imagine that.
Maybe instead of wanting to do the same for others, I would be just as bitter and jaded as her. I bet she sees that connection too. Sees in me what she wishes she could do herself. No wonder I piss her off so much.
He put the phone away, unable to look at it anymore.
Now I know the enemy and myself. I guess that's a victory?
Not to spoil your philosophy hour, but we do need to figure out what we're going to do about Flash.
Oh, I'll tell you what we're gonna do.
Nick smirked, returning to his usual self in no time as he ruffled Finnick's head, and quickly withdrew before he no longer had a finger to point with.
We're gonna kick his butt legal style, then celebrate with some bug burgers!
So you don't actually have a plan?
Despite everything, he laughed.
Something's never changed. Alright, Nick, let's do this thing.
High four?
Don't push it.
This is it. The trial is about to end one way or another. You want to know what it's like on this side of the courtroom, Carrots? You're about to find out.
12:38 p.m. Zootopia Central Courthouse, courtroom number 2.
Court is back in session!
Clawhauser announced, much more exuberantly this time.
Even better, so is my appetite. To make up for lost ground, feast your eyes on my double Jeopardy double buttercream surprise!
He proudly showed off the 2 donuts that now occupied his gavel before immediately digging into them.
Happy Clawhauser is good for us, right?
He shared a shrug with Finnick, both agreeing it was better not to acknowledge it.
Then, may I ask the results of the pool analysis?
What do you think?
Judy snapped, a bit more harshly than needed. If his analysis of her was correct, this latest turnabout wasn't making her happy.
It is exactly as you surmised. The waters of the pleasure pool were contaminated with mystic mojo, enough that it certainly could have been fatal after a long bath.
So the pool was filled with blood, mud, and crud. Hate to be whoever has to clean that up.
Clawhauser nodded, his mouth full.
Sure. So the says how I really was false?
The strain was becoming more and more evident.
Yes, Your Honor. While it was assumed that the blow came before the victim's death, the events were close enough together that it is possible it could have been the other way around in light of this new information.
Autopsy report updated in the court record. He nodded again and swallowed, oblivious to her annoyance.
And what about the new witness, Mr. Weston? Were you able to subpoena him?
At that, Judy's frown turned upside down, an instant red flag for the defense.
Indeed I have. In fact, it was easier than expected. Mr. Weston has been a member of the gallery this whole time.
Meaning he's seen the events of the entire trial, which already makes him more dangerous than Bellwether.
That sure makes things easy. Then you may call him to the stand, Prosecutor Hopps.
I already have. About 5 minutes ago.
Huh? Then where?
He trailed off, comprehension dawning on him and the rest of the courtroom. A familiar gray shape emerged, very slowly, from the gallery, walking towards the witness stand. It would have felt like an eternity regardless, especially with Judy's obvious pleasure at his discomfort. Finally, the sloth made it to the stand and took a minute, literally, to wave at the defense. Nick!
Hi, Flash. Win or lose, trips to the DMV are going to be awkward.
Witness, please state your name and occupation. And take your time, there's no rush.
He smiled in appreciation, taking those words very much to heart. My name is Flash Weston, and I work at the DMV.
As well as Mystic Spring?
Asked Nick, trying to at least keep the court on the right track.
I have to say, for as much as I've seen you, I had no idea you were a naturalist.
Why do you think they call me Flash?
Scratch that, it's already awkward. Anyway, you teach aerobics there, right?
No.
No? Was that a hesitant pause? Or just a normal one?
The witness lost his job the day of the murder. I have the supporting documentation right here.
She proceeded to pass around yet another piece of evidence she had stored away, though Nick was a bit more hopeful about this one. It was a simple notice of termination addressed to Flash, marked with Nagi's signature and a large hoof-shaped stamp with red ink. It didn't list much in the way of specifics, only that the sloth had been fired for disturbing and unnatural teaching methods.
Do I even want to know what that means?
Notice of termination added to the court record. Clawhauser pulled out a full box of donuts and placed it on the bench, followed by 2 more, knowing they would need to last him a while.
And you believe this to be a motive for murder?
No, Your Honor, but I'm sure Mr. Wilde does.
Of course I do! Not only that, it tells me exactly how Flash could have gotten into the crime scene in the first place. Because if he was fired that day, he still might have had his keys on him!
Flash didn't even twitch. So what if I did?
Huh? He's just flat out admitting it?
Indeed. I had to return my keys that night. But that is all I did.
You think we're just gonna buy that?
As a matter of fact, I do, even after I considered the possibility of him being a suspect.
You were just as gung-ho as I was about getting him up here. More, actually. So why are you suddenly dismissing that possibility now?
Allow me to demonstrate. Mr. Weston, do you have anything to say about the allegations that you killed Miss Nagi?
I did not
Do you expect me to back down? Because I don't care what!
kill her
Because I don't care what!
that night.
Because I don't care what species he is! He's a suspect all the same to me! Okay, so maybe I care a little bit.
I expected nothing less.
She said, shaking her head.
But if that won't sway you, then perhaps this will.
She looked towards the witness, who was still processing her first sentence.
If you could, please explain for the court what you told me outside.
His expression shifted slowly from sadness to understanding to smiling. You see, I was a witness to the... There was complete silence as everyone leaned in just a bit closer. Murder.
What?! How much time did she have with him? And you're just coming forward with this now?!
If you were a sloth, perhaps you would understand just how stressful it would be to face a police interrogation when it takes such an effort just to speak. They have a hard enough life without being accused of murder, you know.
I told you I'm not backing down! So let's hear a testimony already! When you're up for it, Flash.
No problem. Witness testimony. The night of the crime. I came to the club at about 10 o'clock to drop off my keys. but I saw that no one was there. So I looked around and opened the door to the lounge. Inside, I saw Yax and Nangi. He was holding the bloody sledgehammer. I was afraid, so I quickly left. Clawhauser was snoozing peacefully, only to be awoken by a quick jab from Bogo.
Huh? Oh, is the testimony over? That was very, informative, witness.
Finnick yawned a bit himself.
Someone who takes so long to make a point, he sure can talk.
This could take a while, and not just because he's a sloth. I'm not sure I have a way to refute that.
In the spirit of fairness, I will give you all the time you need. Because no matter how you look at it, a sloth could not capably murder someone. Let's see you try to twist that logic around, Wilde.
I don't even get a mister anymore? This bunny seriously has it out for me.
Flash let out a series of low, single laughs. Ha! 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 Yes. Let's see if you can...
I don't need to hear it again. Your Honor, I will begin my cross-examination.
Okay,
he said wearily, seconds from falling asleep again. Twist this.
I'm starting.
Cross-examination. The night of the crime. I came to the club at about 10 o'clock to drop off my keys.
Carrots, can you confirm if the witness's keys were actually found on the scene?
I hate to burst your bubble,
Liar.
but we did indeed find them inside the front desk.
Alright, then maybe Flash can tell us how the front door was still locked when he left.
That's because you can lock the door behind you. If Nick thought he was on a roll, it came to a screeching halt instantly.
That's seriously it? If only more mammals had doors like that, there'd be a lot less locked room mysteries to solve.
Well, I believe you were about to make a point of some kind.
I think that's worth adding to the testimony.
Finnick paled.
You want to make this longer?
Relax. I know what I'm doing. Mostly.
The door could be locked without them. But I saw that no one was there.
According to Yax's testimony, he should have still been on guard duty at that point.
But this was also around the point when he was high on Mystic Mojo. One of the drug's side effects is a distorted sense of time. So it's also possible that he had left the room before the witness even showed up.
Even so, I can't help but notice that the witness's physical description matches up well with the assailant Yax spoke of. What do you have to say about that, Mr. Harry Longclaws?
No comment.
Did he really need that long of a pause just to blow me off?
The witness won't respond to that because he doesn't need to. Which is more credible, an eyewitness account or the defendant's flights of fancy?
You seriously gotta stop using that as evidence.
But it's the best evidence we have.
Which sums up our law firm in a nutshell.
Nevertheless, Flash, please clarify that statement for us.
Yax must have already been gone.
If that's the case, then the incense that contained the Mystic Mojo should have also been there.
Actually, it wasn't.
Then you must have stolen it to cover your tracks. That's the only way it could have disappeared.
So little imagination for someone with such a penchant for nonsense. Who knows what the defendant could have done with the incense in his state? He could have eaten it.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised to see him eat glass.
Even if the witness did take the incense, it doesn't prove he put it there in the first place.
Really thought you had something there, huh?
No.
So I looked around and opened the door.
Hold
Nick lowered his finger, realizing he had jumped the gun.
it! Sorry. Thought I'd time that better.
Perhaps you'd like to rewind and try that again?
I think I'd rather a fast forward.
To the lounge.
Hold it! Which would put you where the door was located on the diagram?
That is absolutely correct, Nick.
Just say yes! But nobody saw you?
No. It was only open a crack.
Think you can add that to the testimony?
Nick, are you trying to break some kind of record here?
All part of the plan, Finn.
Well, just so you know, His Honor has fallen asleep again.
That won't be a problem once.
So has the bailiff. And the gallery.
I work better with a smaller crowd anyway.
But Prosecutor Hopps remained alert as ever.
It'll be even smaller when you lose your badge.
I was standing right at the entrance. Inside, I saw Yax and Nangi. He was holding the bloody sledgehammer.
Hold it! Can you describe that in more detail?
He tried to ignore Finnick's groans of despair.
Oh.
He seemed dazed and unaware of his surroundings.
And yet he was able to hide the weapon in a way that wouldn't implicate him?
Yes.
Did you see him hide it?
No.
Then you're just basing this on what we already know.
The delay made it hard to tell, but somewhere along the line, Flash had started to frown. What is with all these questions?
Just trying to get a clear picture. I mean, you say you witnessed the murder, but isn't this all just hearsay? Not really what I'd call decisive.
Judy was ready to fire back, but to her surprise, Flash beat her to the punch. I saw the defendant. I saw the hammer. I saw the hoof prints. Do I need to say more?
Actually, yes. Please add that bit to your testimony.
Fine. I saw the defendant. I saw the hammer. I saw the hoof prints.
Objection!
It was hard not to sigh in relief.
Flash, 100-yard testimony. I finally got you.
How do you figure?
As you clearly stated before, you were watching this from the entrance to the lounge, right where the door is located on the diagram. But therein lies the problem. Because from that spot, the renovations area would have been concealed by the rock wall!
Flash did not react. Yet.
Wait, so you dragging this out like that actually had a point?
Of course! Even the most stubborn witnesses let their guard down eventually. It was just a matter of pressing him for info until he finally slipped up. Granted, that only became the plan halfway through.
The sloth remained expressionless.
You mean to say you got a sloth to lose his patience? That's actually kind of impressive.
Objection! The witness got the events of the trial mixed up with his own memory. Your incessant badgering doesn't prove a thing.
All I did was press for info carrots. Nothing wrong with that.
The pure smarm that radiated from his voice was an added bonus.
But if that's not good enough for you, I can prove the witness was the one who actually wielded the hammer.
Flash's face shifted into a frown.
What? Now you have to be bluffing.
I didn't make the connection at first, but there's something that ties Flash to that very spot. And you yourself showed it to us.
Take that!
The letter of termination? Even if that serves as a motive, it's no evidence.
I beg to differ. It's not the words I'm focused on, but the stamp.
The stamp?
It didn't take her long to see it herself.
That big hoof shape. You mean to say that's what was used to create the hoof prints in the concrete?
That's exactly what I'm saying. And from that position, it would have been all too easy for him to grab the sledgehammer and complete his frame job.
Flash's eyes widened and its jaw dropped open. Clawhauser, who had finally been woken by all the shouting along with the rest of the court, needed a moment to catch up.
Oh, I get it now. That totally makes sense.
No, it doesn't.
Just look at him!
Nick pointed to the frozen shock on Flash's face.
Does that look like innocent to you?
They all watched as Flash gradually lost that expression, and in half a minute was back to normal. What are you talking about?
I'm guessing he never plays poker.
Clawhauser nodded right along with all of this.
So those hoof prints were really just fake after all?
Of course, Your Honor. With that fabrication, Flash threw off the entire investigation to disguise the real murder method. Maybe he thought the Mystic Mojo would be more easily pinned to him. Slow-acting murder, slow-acting mammal. It's only natural.
Hold! Sometime during Nick's latest monologue, Flash had taken in a breath to shout, and now he finally released it, instantly silencing the courtroom.
Yeesh! Gotta remember he's slow, not silent.
Despite the increasing suspicion around him, Flash remained calm as he raised a paw into the air. Prosecutor, I want my special request.
Already? All right. I will respect your wishes. Bailiff, fetch the pot.
Bogo sighed and headed out of the room. Nick was immediately suspicious.
Special request? What is he talking about?
When I was prepping the witness in the lobby, he wanted me to prepare for him a certain beverage to help him in case he had difficulty getting his points across.
We don't allow alcohol in the Hall of Justice.
Nothing like that, Your Honor. Just a specially made coffee from Snarlbucks.
Coffee? I'm sure he appreciates your amazing empathy, but there isn't enough caffeine on the planet to speed this up.
Regardless, he has requested a pot of the experimental new Super Lightning Blitz 2000. According to the witness himself, it really does the job.
Uh-huh.
Bogo returned shortly thereafter, wheeling out a cart with a large pot of coffee resting on it. He poured a cup and handed it to Flash, straining his patience as he waited for him to grab it. Thank you, the sloth said, raising the cup up to his lips and starting to drink. Before Nick could even wonder how long this was going to take, the slow gulps of Flash's throat began to get faster and faster, until he was practically chugging the beverage down. With a contented sigh, he slammed the cup back onto the cart. The whole court watched as he took a few deep breaths, then raised his head to the sky and... With that shout, Flash's fur was suddenly standing on end and turned a vibrant red. He reached up and spiked the fur on top of his head into a distinct lightning bolt shape, then pulled out a headband and snapped it on underneath. When he was done, he shot a wide smile and thumbs up at the stunned crowd.
All right, everyone, let's get those bodies moving.